Okay, so good morning, guys. Welcome to today's brainstorming session. So, I hope you guys are dealing the heat of the summer as summer, and let's get ready to face the heat of this session. So, always remember, brainstorming is not it has rebuttal, but it does not mean that it is a debate or something like that. We have to come to a conclusion at the very end of the brainstorming, and will have to uh, find a solution for the problem given for today. All right, so today's topic is, what's your idea to popularize dying culture and art forms and commercializing them? We know that art is losing its grip. Western commercial products are selling in the market at a very large pace, whereas we as Indians are forgetting our art forms, right? So how to revamp that space, how to reboost and sell those products in India as well as in abroad as well. So that is today's topic. So I'd like to invite the first speaker of today. His name is Krishna Mukhopadhyay from CACTS.
Hello everyone. Good morning, not good morning, good mid-noon to all of you present here. And my idea behind like how to popularize the dying art forms in India, especially in India, because we all see people running after the fashion of the West. Now, art can mean different stuff. For it can mean folk music and folk dance, etc. It can mean the traditional Indian outfits. It can mean the handicrafts and the pots that we Indians generally use, but it is losing its grip in the market because of several reasons. In this industrialized world, the Indians who are poor, they are not looking for like preserving their heritage and culture. They will of course look for something that is cheap and that is better. So of course they will run after the products that are given to them by the West. They will not come to us or to the Indian traditional markets, pots, culture, everything. Also, the Indian art market, if you take the whole art as an example, folk music, handicrafts, all of them, then it is one of the most decentralized and unorganized sector in all over India after agriculture. So there is no organization, a specific organization that will look after people collectively. These people are generally individuals who go to e-commerce sites like Amazon, Flipkart, etc., and then they sell their products over there. But my idea is something like to organize these people and give them workshops so that they can learn new skills and they can gain more knowledge and then boost the economy by giving them subsidies to the government policies, etc. So that is my view uh, in, I think, a gist or in a concise. Uh, Questions are welcomed.
Okay, Krishna, that was your idea. You have more time. If you want to add anything, you can, but I'll ask for the rebuttal questions. If anybody is interested in asking Krishna a question about his idea, about what he said right now, you can go ahead. You can unmute yourself and ask the question, as well as write in the chat box if you want.
All right.
Okay, Krishna, before going to anyone else, I have a question for you. All
Yeah,
right.
sure.
So you said that the market is very decentralized. What's
Yes.
your plan to centralize it? Matlab, how will you organize the whole system? Because Indian art forms are very different from each other. You go to Haryana, there's a different kind of art form. You come to West Bengal, there's a different kind of art form. You cannot bring those things under a single umbrella, because local people do it on their own. They're very small. They do it on a very small scale. So what's your idea to group them all, and how can you do that?
Okay, sure. So this is a great question because this problem of the this is not a problem just of the art, but also of agriculture and all of the industries. So how do you bring our diverse nation together? So it is not about bringing Haryana and West Bengal in the same dot. It is about bringing the local people together. The local people actually do get subsidies from the government, but they like when speakers or interviewers go and speak to them, like they do feel that they don't get any help. So the government body actually like so the Indian government actually gives 2% of their economy to like preserve the Indian heritage, while the Chinese economy gives 30% of their whole budget to preserve their own art forms. So we can see the Indian budget is quite low. So first thing to organize the art forms is what you do is to gain a lot of local followers and help them to go into a school or into a workshop and help them gain knowledge about what they're doing and about the skills that they require so that they can attract more customers. One major disadvantage of the art form in India is that the the creators of the art, they actually create whatever they like, and it cannot go on like this. For example, in their customer-based MNCs, they actually focus more on what the customer wants. So the art creators, the rural people, have to realize that they cannot like raise the prices up as as much as they want to. Like they want to do anything, so it cannot be like that. So there should be a price that should be at the par with the price given by the other companies, although they are mass producing the whole thing. What we can do for our local companies is we can give them huge subsidies. Like we can increase the 2% budget that we have for the art people to like 10%. Yes, we can do that. And then organizing and then getting into them into a workshop, etc. And then like making a workforce in just a local village and then making it from 10 to 12 villages to make a workshop in a town, and then from a town to a city, and then from a city to a state. So that is how I plan to do it. Thank you.
Okay, there's a follow-up question. All right. So the thing is that don't you think that art loses its touch whenever you try to commercialize them? If you tell a painter to paint 10 paintings in a day and you offer to give him money for that, matlab you are
Mhm.
commercializing that art form. If he would have drawn one single picture, it would have been the best. But when he's trying to do it in numbers, in n numbers, right? So the art it loses its touch. So what's your view on that also?
Exactly. So handicraft by itself is art that is made by hands, that is manufactured by the hands itself. So if you're talking about something that is manufactured in mass numbers, the price will be much cheaper. But in terms of handicraft, the price is much high because it is manufactured by one single person or one or more people. So the price is quite high, and that is why people will prefer the products made by large companies rather than the products that are handicrafts made by the rural people. So what you need to do is like you gather a lot of people, especially women, because women in villages, they don't have employment. Many persons in villages are unemployed. Majority of them are underemployed. So you get them and you give them a passive source of income. Like if you do this, then you get paid this amount of money. So all of them come together and they devote like 2 hours or 4 hours per day to making this kind of art, and then that is not mass producing because a single art is produced by a single person, but then you're paying the money to them so that this art, which is traditional, plus you give some like modern mixture to it, so it is not something wholly like ancient. You have an ancient touch as well as you add some modern thing to it. Both of them at the same time can attract the market. Also, like ads in the newspapers, like ads on television, and then the government or the local political party, they can also like organize events like cultural dance, etc., where they can like make the people understand that these are our own people whom we need to buy the products from. All of this together, given in a good quantity, can help the industry of the art really grow very fast.
Okay, Krishna, thank you for answering my questions.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next speaker. If anybody has any question, you can ask Krishna.
Yeah, Devashri.
Yeah,
Hello.
Devopri has a
Yeah,
question.
sure,
Yeah,
Am I
yeah,
audible?
go ahead. Yeah,
yes, you
you are
are.
audible.
Yeah, Krishna. So the topic was dying art culture, right? And if we emphasize on this phase that dying art culture, why art culture is dying? Because there is no successor. Okay, for the artisans, like you talked about agriculture a lot. So the farmer's son or daughter are not willing to do agriculture. Okay, they are willing to do jobs in good IT companies. Okay, Likewise, the sons or the successors of the artisans are not willing to carry on with the art forms. So how will you ensure that these art art forms do not die? And there are successors who are willing to do carry on with this art form.
Yeah, sure. So this is a huge problem. So this problem was also addressed in the Times of India article that I have read recently. So the problem is like the legacy is not actually carried on. So you have a father who works every hour to produce some like high quality pots, but his own children are into making Instagram reels because they feel like doing them they can become good influencers and that can give them more money in a very short amount of time. So to address this problem, first thing you need to do is like organize local workshops so that all these people can be made to realize that art forms, okay, they do take a lot of time, but they also provide a long-term sustenance and a source of passive income. So you can do agriculture, but you can also devote 2 hours per day to like doing art or like doing some handicraft work. So you can do both of them at the same time because the second point is a passive source of income. Also, women in villages, most of them majorly are like housewives. So like most of the time they're actually sitting in their home. So what they can do is they can complete their work very fast and they can like devote majority of their time in dealing and like making this new art from. So that is the way you carry on the legacy. You make the people understand their local heritage and why it is important to like carry that on, and then you can give them a passive source of income. Any more questions, please?
Devprio, is your question well answered?
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay. Okay. So moving on to the next speaker of today, uh, Anjali Kumari. Anjali Kumari is the next speaker. Anjali, you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Bhaiya, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So, good morning, everyone. I'm Anjali Kumari. So, going to our topic. Okay. Just a second, Bhaiya, just a second.
Yeah, yeah. Take your time. No, no issues.
Okay. Okay. So, India is an epitome of art and culture, and art forms are found in every corner of the country. And also, the handicraft market in India is the second largest sector after agriculture. But still we can see an entire community of artisans and craftsmen who are not able to make a proper sale of their products and are not able to generate adequate revenue out of it. Why is it happening? It is happening because of the monopoly that exists in this particular sector. This monopolist, what they make 90 to 95% of their sale directly from the tourist, and they dominate over this entire market and don't let the small artisans and craftsmen to come up uh, and make their proper sale. So in order to break this monopoly, what can be done is to uplift the small artisans and craftsmen of this community, and with proper funding make them sell their products at places like airports and different places of India. Like for example, taking example of Jaisalmer, Rajasthan, the art and crafts that is being sold by this monopolist in Jaisalmer, Rajasthan cannot be broken easily. So what they can do, these small artisans and craftsmen can exported their products to different part of the countries like to Shimla, to Kerala, and make their sale there. And also in order to popularize their items, they can do exhibitions and the fest and fairs. This through this they can be able to generate adequate revenue and popularize their products. Besides talking about the handicrafts item, India also has a culture of using leaf plate and earthen pots. And at this time, when a lot of countries, including India, are at the very peak of banning plastic, we can promote our leaf plates and earthen pots as a good substitute of plastic. Like Germany rediscovered leaf plate and they are selling it for rupees 800 each. So I think this is a good time where we can globalize our Indian culture and sell it in the international market. Thank you. Any questions? The questions are
Yeah,
welcome.
thank you, Anjali.
Yes, yes. Okay. So a question to Anjali. Like she said about exporting products to like, if a person is living in West Bengal, like he can export the product to Simla for more advertisement. But the problem is they are already so poor. Like exporting those products even further away from the place they live. Like how would they afford to do that?
I think investments are required in every business, and if they don't is like if you are making a product in West Bengal and already monopoly exists in West Bengal sector, you won't be able to sell your product there itself. They won't let you dominate. So anyhow, you need to get out of the place and make the sale of your product to different places where this particular art forms is not that much easily available. This can help in like selling more product.
Yeah, agree to that. Like, I would say like I think there should be a governing body above, like an umbrella over all these people. They can take this actually works to like export the products from this place to that place, so that this whole network of artisans working, that can be really good.
Yes, that's your opinion. Okay. Any more questions?
Okay, so if anyone has any other question, you can shoot. Okay, so
Hello, Anjali. I have a question. Am I
Yes,
audible
Didi.
properly?
Yes, Didi.
Yes. See, you promoted a very good idea about earthen pots and leaflets, but you understand, right, that if it is an earthen pot, it's not as portable or you cannot use it as flexibly as you can use plastic. You have to always be secure about it. So, this is the reason again why we all shifted to something, we shifted to the technologies, Western technologies, where the things would be flexible. So I very well respect your idea, but please provide me a solution that if you are looking forward for earthen pots in particular or such similar solutions which were promoted by the artisans, so how will the people who are using it get that flexibility of usage?
If once the plastic gets banned and currently if you don't have any other substitute of it, then I don't think so anything can be done until and unless we find something new. Like we also carry water bottles with us, right? It's not something which we can just wrap up and keep somewhere, but we still carry water bottles, like, and earthen post has the same rigidity. So I think it can be used and it can be made from of different types as well, like in the shape of bottle or something. So I think it's what the idea they adapt more if a plastic gets banned.
Okay, okay.
Any more questions?
no, I don't think anyone has any other question. You have answered well. Moving on to
Thank
the
you,
next
Dia.
speaker. Yeah, thank you. Moving on to the next speaker. The next speaker is Anand Mohan Jha. Is he here? Anand? Okay, so I don't think he joined the meeting. If he joins later, I'll call his name. But moving on to the next speaker is Abhishek Mishra. Abhishek, are you here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm audible.
Yes, you are audible.
So, hello everyone. I'm Abhishek Mishra from CC second year. So I would like to say something about the today's topic, which is the popularized dyeing culture in art form and commercializing them. So as we all know, India is a land of with traditional craft forms in every region. The craft of India are diverse, rich in history, culture, community. So every zone in our country is known for its traditional form and arts and craft practices, including drawing, paintings, pottery, carvings, metalworks, embroideries, saris. So arts and handicrafts are known to be the backbone of country or a rural economy. Due to increase in modernization, some of these art forms are was of extinction. So nowadays, different professionals like architects and some organizations are attempting to save this dying art and culture through their professions. So here are some examples of the unique art and craft in India that need to be saved. The first one is the Rogan painting. The Rogan painting of Kutch in Gujarat is one of the most exotic type of painting. The Rogan painting is an art form practiced for over 300 years. So once practiced by many families in Kutch, decreased dramatically to few families nowadays. There are now at present it is practiced by six Awabi families only. So the second one is the famous traditional puppetry art. The traditional art of puppetry has known to have existed in India for over almost 3,000 years. So there exists diverse type of form of puppetry all around India. There are some organizations and NGOs that have tried to revive these puppetry arts. So there are now few families that are left practices these art forms. So the next one is Kasuti. So it is a traditional form of embroideries in state of Karnataka. So Kasuti is a process that involves stitching by hand using various threads. So the art form is used for cloths and on products such as bag, wallets, but also this art form is time. So there are more craft practices like patola saris, wildlife paintings, wall paintings, bamboo arts. So here are some ways that we can protect the dying art and culture and art form industry. So the first one is the understanding the global market. To keep the traditional crafts alive, it is important to artisans to understand how trade fair works and participate in the same with an all-around understanding of profit and loss and the pros and cons. So involving the global market. So the next one is increased interaction with the consumers. So the artisans need to interact with consumers and tell them all about their works and the meaning behind it. This inspires the consumers and establishes the connection between art and buyer. So this also helps the artisans know that consumers wants or need. So the next one is women employment. Most handicraft industries are large areas of women employments. In their free times, women they have to depend on these craft for earning income for their family, right? So as women's of Krishnanda Trust, which is running in a small village of Karnataka, are producing the paper and the other items made of banana trees, and they lives in their free time. So yeah, so women can work for the handicraft industries. So the next one is the bring back the mixture of old and new designs. So the craftsmen these days are bringing in a mixture of old and new designs to strike the balance between the avant-garde and the traditionals. So through this mixture of form of craft and the traditional handicrafts industry has more hope for shining, right? So the next one is the conduct workshops at both the rural and urban levels. Workshops should be organized that enhance the skill and also the knowledge of people. So the skill showcase, design, education, creative and products development workshops can be followed up with pricing, marketing, branding, and microfinance, right? So these workshops can help artisans eradicate the communication gap between the two representation of society and bring in better understanding of demand and supply. And it's also initiate the traditional art awareness. So the next one is initiate collaboration between artisans and designer. So these awareness programs will also initiate collaboration between the artisans and the urban designer and brands to explore opportunities together. Through these kind of initiatives and activities, we can save our crafts and promote our traditional craft nationally and globally with the various art and craft form to find the place in dynamic art culture of the world. So these initiatives will bring out the traditional craft and also introduce the hidden talents in India. So that's all for today from my side. Thank you. Any questions, please? Hello.
Well, okay. If anyone has any question, you can ask Abhishek.
Okay, so Abhishek, you talked about like conducting workshops and then getting the women like into this market and stuff. So, like, what do you think about like giving them like would it be an active source of income or a passive source of income?
Can you ask once again, please? Can't hear you properly.
So I asked you, all these auditions making these products, would it be their active source of income or their passive source of income?
uh, Obviously, like passive source of income, there will nothing like they have to work for the like they have to work for the industries or trust anything like they if they get free time, they will work for that trust or anything like that, so they will give their like they will get them their passive income or something like that. There will be not like active source of that.
And okay, so art is not just about like pots and handicrafts. Like, what's your idea about like preserving folk music?
See, obviously, I said like conducting a workshop. So obviously, the workshop will be not conducted for music only. So there will be like today in today's were like you have seen in COVID, there will be a webinar like, so we can like show the whatever you said to the webinars to the like to everyone in the like country, they can join and just see the music or something like that.
So like you're talking about local like I mean the local people seeing an event of folk music, and that will give them interest to like see them more and more.
Yeah, obviously.
I got your point. Agree to that.
Okay. So Abhishek, you mentioned in your fourth point that use this large arena for women's employment, right?
Yeah, Bhaiya.
So, what's your thought on? Don't you think that uh, the rural women are doing enough, right? While managing their families and everything, every other stuff, they work mostly very hard every day. So,
Right.
how are you trying to insert another job into their life while they are doing their regular household jobs as well?
Right, right. So, as I said, in their free time, right? So if
Hmm.
the women of urban areas like so if they get free times, they can work for the trust or anything like that. They don't need to work like they didn't don't need to work for like for क्या बोलते हैं, forcefully for that trust or anything like that. They if they want they can, if they don't they don't need to work for that, right? So if they got free time, they should, from my perspective.
Okay, so you are telling that in their free time they can join, but
Right.
what are your plans to skill them? You need to give them the skill, right?
Right. So they need to practice. Like as I said, there are only few families left, so they need to practice for that art. Like if they are going for handicrafts or they are going from art form, anything like that. First, they have to practice for that. Then they should like make or something like that. They can't like go and start doing work and all.
Okay. And the second question is you mentioned understand promotional strategies in your sixth point, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So what's your take on the recent promotional strategies? Some businesses are there who are trying to build a community of local art forms, right?
Right.
Do you think that there are more people's participation needed in this kind of businesses?
See, Bhaiya, like we have seen like there will be a I'm saying about the business like we can print the art form in like metal bottles or something like that. So if we start doing like that, so there will be more people who will attracted to us. There are more people like us who are interested in art form or anything like that, who loves the like art form, the classic art form. So if we do the printing and all that in bottle or something, there will be more people coming through this, coming through the different reason will interested in or printing or something like that. The or sorry art form. So can you please repeat the question? I didn't get.
Yeah, yeah. The promotional strategy you mentioned about promotional
Right,
strategy.
right, right,
Yeah,
right,
because promotion plays a huge part in any sell in any selling of a product, right?
right,
Any product selling, right?
right,
So, what's your take on the promotional strategy? How you will change the recent promotional strategies that the local artisans have? They go into government events, local art fairs, and all, and they sell their products, right? That's the
right,
only thing they can do at this
right,
point
right,
in time. Yeah,
right,
but if you are trying to commercialize the same thing, right? So
right,
there are many startups who are coming that we will sell products of local artisans. We will keep the product in our warehouse, and they will redistribute the whole thing into the online system
right,
all over the India, right?
right,
There are many startups who are doing the same thing,
right,
but still they are uh, lagging in revenues. They are dying because of cash burn and everything. But what's your take? What different thing you are going to do so that this makes a profitable business first of all, and second of all, the thing is that you need to pay the artisans a proper amount of money for their
right,
sustenance as well, right? So
right.
how are you going to balance the same thing, both the things?
See, I said, because of modernization, right? So there will be more like we use like a back cover, like phone back cover. We can print the art form in the back cover. So there will be like more people who will get to know about the art forms. There will be laptop vinyls. Like we can print the laptop. We can print the art form to the vinyls of. So, and we can even host the webinar to present our like art forms and anything like that. So, and the next one is like if like we are using various kind of products in our daily life, like water bottles, tiffins, or many more like that. So we can print the arts over here, and like the people who are interested in art forms and culture of India, who will definitely buy that, because obviously I also love the art which is printed on bottles and everything like that. So there will be like more commercializing type, like everyone will know about the art form. Like if I buy something, like I buy a bottle so there will be my friends who will get to know about the, oh, you write from there, or anything like that. So obviously posting a webinar, printing the art form to the like various types of products will enhance the productivity, or anything like that. So I hope I answered you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so Abhishek, I will also like to add to the point of promoting the art forms. Like you can have local political parties. Uh, I mean, the local political party, like they can host a event where they can like introduce all this folk music or like handicaps,
Right.
and in of course, so like these look. I mean, this will help more than the webinars or like ads, and then like obviously because.
Right. But
Mhm.
as Didi said, like you can't bring the pot over like from the West Bengal to Haryana. If you are conducting like any type of what you can say workshop, so you can't bring your pot to Haryana or something like that. So we can obviously the webinar will be the better solution for that. You can just present your
Mhm.
form. You can just like print your crafts on like web, so there will be nothing damage for your potteries on anything like that. So I hope I also agree with your points, but somewhere like not completely.
All right.
Okay, I guess the questions are answered properly, and moving on to the next speaker. The next speaker is Avijnan Roy. Avijnan, are you here? Yeah, yeah, you can unmute yourself and
audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. So let me let me share a PPT with you. Okay, so as you can see here, I have a plan with three-pronged plan. So first thing first, commercialization, like branding, marketing, making goods available, and giving people adequate training to enhance their skills. Okay, so for branding, I would like to say that there are few companies or brands, including few fashion designers who have their own brand endorsing the local traditional arts and handicrafts and all these things. Okay, and for marketing, uh, I would like to say that using these kind of, I mean, fabrics and other pots and designs, paintings, all these things in the movies and the regular daily soaps and all these things can promote the sales of these products. And the next thing is making goods available. So I don't think that you will be able to get these things in your local market or anywhere else. And even in case of the e-commerce sites, very few very few goods are available over there. So to make things available, we have to work on it and giving people training. So not many people in nowadays are able to create this kind of arts and all these kinds of fabrics and sarees and all these things. So I think that they need proper training for that. Okay, so next thing is production. So definitely involving artisans and craftsmen of India. And yeah, I'd like to say that there are few companies who hires technicians and artists from foreigns, and obviously our neighbor, the copycat country, China, is creating goods which are traditionally Indian arts, but they are copying these things and exporting this to India. Okay, so this leads to our next point, that is the stopping import and smuggling. And after that, I would like to say the introduction of new technology. Okay, so a few days ago I was going through a YouTube video. We said that we can use 3D printing for making the earthen pots. So if you can use this kind of 3D printing technology for the earthen pots and even garments, so we can manufacture this kind of pots at any corner of India without getting into the trouble of transporting and breaking those things. Okay, so artists from West Bengal can easily create the designs and send it to the manufacturing plant in some other place like Haryana or Delhi or even in South India via internet. And in that manufacturing plant, the machine will recreate these designs and will make the final product. Okay, and the next point is the introduction of new styles. So definitely the traditional art and craft and all the textile industry were involved around the saris and all these regional and ethnic dresses, but it's not necessary for us to follow those same tradition to endorse that same culture. So we can use that same fabric for different purposes, like we can make bed sheets, we can make cartons, and even we can make bags out of it, which will eventually be more environment friendly and will be cost effective also. Okay, so next thing is promotion. Like as I have mentioned here, involving celebrities. Like you can ask different celebrities from both Bollywood, Tollywood, even YouTube to endorse your products and promoting it through films. As many of previous speakers have mentioned this point, organizing fashion shows and handicraft festivals. So yes, this is one of the way to promote these things. government schemes and policies. I think some speakers have mentioned this, and definitely exporting. We can produce these kind of things in a cheaper and in a larger quantity. So yes, we can export this, and in foreign countries, these products are in a huge demand. So exporting this will also help us. Thank you.
Okay, so if anyone has any question for Abhijnan, you can ask.
Yeah, I have a question, Abhinjan. So
Yes,
there was a point, and like you mentioned over there, the buying goods from e-commerce site, right? So the peoples
yes.
from village who don't get delivered product over in like in their area, how can they buy from the e-commerce sites, right? How can they?
They don't need e-commerce site. They can buy them that product from their local market. You can get this kind of handicraft products in the village area very easily, and not
So
in
you
Kolkata.
mentioned the e-commerce site. Everyone can not buy e-commerce from e-commerce sites. Right?
Yes, yes.
So how can they? How can they like? There will be if we can assume like there will be no
Just
local
go to a
market in there.
wait. Just go to a village of Purulia, and you will get lots of terracotta products out there.
So I can't go to
Just
Purulia
go.
for buying the products, right?
No. I'm not telling you. I'm just asking you. I'm just telling you that the local people can buy those goods. The villagers can buy those goods from their local market. They don't need e-commerce site. The people from the metropolitan cities need the e-commerce site to buy those goods.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
anyone has?
Yeah, me. So Abhinanjan, so you mentioned about like branding, and then so like which part of the community are you targeting as customers?
Both the rich and the middle class people.
Okay, so there's a follow-up question from what you have answered right now. uh, Different brands have different brand identities, right? Because if you see Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and all of these foreign brands, they target the rich society of the country or something like that. They target the rich society, and for middle class people, there are different brands. You can name also. There are different brands, right? So you can't target both the uh, classes at the same time, just because there's a huge uh, product margin that is in between a product which is targeting a rich people and a product which is targeting a middle class people. So how are you going to solve that, that even the rich and also the middle class is buying your product?
Okay, so have you heard about the iPhone? Do you know iPhone?
Why wouldn't I know about the iPhone? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So there is a phone named iPhone 13 Max Pro, which cost around some 1.5 lakhs in Indian
Mhm.
market, and there is
Mhm.
also an iPhone SE, which cost around 30,000 in the Indian market. So the
Okay.
same brand can target if that brand can target both the kind of people. So why can't we? Even the Samsung is a brand which have a large amount of and large varieties of mobile phones. So if this kind of brand can target those people, so why can't we?
Yeah,
Yeah, we
so what?
cannot because like we have a less capital.
No, no,
Those
no, no, no,
brands.
no.
Okay, all right. Go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
Currently, you
Krishna,
don't
I
you
have
can
too
any
want
come
to
back.
ask
capital.
something.
Krishna, you can come back. Let me finish first. The
Yes,
thing is that regarding iPhone, what you have said, iPhone 13 Max Pro, whatever the version it is, it has a different specification than an iPhone SE, right? But when
yes.
you are dealing with clothes, item like clothes, handicrafts, and these things, this doesn't vary in specifications, right? So a shirt, for example, if you are selling for 5,500 rupees for the rich people, and the shirt is there which you are selling for 1,200 or 1,500 rupees for the middle class people, they those two look similar in a way, kind of feels similar in a way. So whenever the rich people will come to your store, they won't buy that 4,500 or 5,500 wala shirt, just because they will say, what does it even matter? Because you are not because when you are dealing with technologies or hardware equipments, you can say this has a RAM of this kind, this amount, this has this much of a display. That's why the cost is cost varies. But when you are dealing with clothes, local artisan products, how are you going to differentiate between those products? That this product is 5,500, this product is 1,500. Can't do
By
that, right?
manipulating them psychologically.
No, no, no. That's not
Okay,
the
just
that's
listen to me.
okay. Go
Okay,
ahead.
just adding a few words like totally handmade, okay, or customized, and all these things. These are the words the companies use to manipulate us psychologically. Okay, and there are also few words like special edition, limited edition, okay, and all these things. They use this to manipulate us psychologically. Okay, if you are going to organize a like as I have mentioned, a handicraft festival in an open ground, this will target the local customers and the middle class people. If you are going to organize this same event in a five-star hotel like JW Marriott, this will target the rich people automatically, and you don't need to bother anything about it. Just add these few words, and the rich people will come to buy these things.
All right, but the problem is you're not the only one to do that. There are multiple other companies who are using those same words. So, like, how do you compete with these major MNCs when you are little when you have the little capital? Like, you both are using the same words, and people will be more attracted to Gucci than a local. I mean, a state level owned company. So, how do you plan about that, Abhinanjan?
Just by using our local films.
Local films, how? Like, you have to demonstrate to me.
Instead of asking the Manish Malhotra to design a dress for our actresses, we would ask our brand, I mean our fashion designer of that brand to design the dress, and we'll ask the actresses to wear them during the event.
But I mean, this is actually not helping the solution. This is actually like steeping up, I mean, already the cost you have. Like, if you're bringing in Amitabh Bachchan or other people to like advertise for you, then you have to pay them a large sum of money, like a handsome sum of money. Like, if you are having actresses in your side, like making them wear your dresses and your outfits, then you also have to pay them a large amount of money. How do you plan even that?
Without investing in marketing, you can't do anything.
Mate, the major
Abhi,
problem we are facing is that we don't have the capital as much as they have.
You don't have any capital right now. You have to create a company to gain capital.
So basically, the model which you are talking about is first you start off in a small scale, and then when you acquire money, you
Yes,
are
yes, yes.
about to scale. Okay, see, the topic, your arguments were very well placed. Not arguments, sorry, ideas were very well placed. But one thing is that the topic dealt in two aspects. That is how to popularize them and commercialize them. So we have talked a lot about commercialization, but speaking about how to popularize them. So if I talk about dokra, or if I talk about terracotta, or if I talk about the Rajasthani paintings, these are confined to one region or the other, and the artisans, they are they're in a very specific geographic location. So have you thought anything how we can popularize the art form across the globe?
I have just mentioned that there are few new technologies which can help us to break these geographical barriers. Like the current generation depends on 3D technology a lot. So 3D modeling and all those 3D printing
But
stuffs
the
are going
moment,
to.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but the moment you paint a Rajasthani painting on 3D, there is technology, and it will be like, you like, as a buyer, maybe you will not be able to differentiate, and maybe the 3D might cost less even than the original painting. But then,
Yes.
in that aspect, how are you preserving actually the Rajasthani painting?
Okay, so actually, I am planning to involve those same Rajasthani artists to draw those I mean, to recreate those arts in a digital form and then to print it in a different location.
So that becomes NFT in a word.
no, no. The thing is that
No,
see,
I just
Yes.
want to say that you can create a design of any kind of instrument and just mail it to the company, and that company will manufacture it by using the 3D technology or something like that. So you can use the mud.
But how are you preserving? I understand your concern that you are breaking the geographic barrier, but the next generation, the generation thereafter, do you think that after you have 100 digital paintings, the company will be using it, and you know then there will be digital manipulations on those paintings, but that original art form, the actual labor, the actual procedure, will that be passed on to the next generation? Will we be able to preserve it?
In that case, it will lose its value, right?
No, Anjali, there can be values like that. Totally depends on the way Abhijanan plan to commercialize it. We can look into the marketing part. Like we can look up to the value setting part. But what my primary concern is that will the art form be preserved for long if we shift it to digital? The originality of it, will it be preserved?
For that originality purpose, I think the local market is the only way till now,
Hmm.
and definitely exporting is also another aspect, like exporting art forms from different sectors of India.
Okay, so let me give you a perspective, right? Then you can answer the
Yeah,
question.
okay.
They would be
If I
asking.
want to add something,
Hmm.
Devashri,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So, why are you going for digitalization? Aren't you hiring those artists?
Exactly.
That would
Yeah.
be a better solution.
Hiring those artists to where? Like if
Hiring
a
those
company
artists in your
grows
company.
enough, okay, if a
Yeah.
company grows enough, then it may have different production units in different parts of India or maybe even different parts of world. So hiring those artists to where?
Look,
It's not
there
Rolls
are
Royce
many
company.
startups. Okay, okay, I understand it's not Rolls Royce company, but hiring those persons can increase your authenticity, right? Now you can tell your customers that we are hiring the actual artists to create these art forms. It will increase a sense of authenticity in your product. Can you
Okay,
get my
so I
point?
am okay, but I am asking those original artists to work for me. That's one type of hiring. I am just wanting to use the modern technology to break those geographical barriers. Okay, not confining that artist into one local area, but to use that technology, as I've said earlier, to break those geographical barriers.
Okay, so if
So
I can say
basically,
something.
what you can do that, yeah, this is just last point. So
Okay.
basically, what you can do that you can keep this technologies as an alternative. Okay, means if
Yes,
your factory is in some remote areas, then you can use these technologies. But if your factory is in some developed areas, then you can surely accommodate these artists. Like it will give the artists a good livelihood as well. Okay, so you will create a good life for your workers. Okay, you will be in with commercialization, you will be benefiting the artist as well, right? So you will be working for the society as well. So you
yes,
can go hand in hand with commercialization and social cause, right? And if you really want to use this technology, so if your factory is in Dubai and you can't bear the cost of the workers in Dubai, then you can use this technologies as an alternative for those workers. But your main focus should be how to benefit these workers, right?
yes.
Yeah.
I want
I
to
just
add
wanted to
something.
add this. Yeah.
He said that any iticians can make its design to the company, and then you can create a 3D printing print of something. And in the very start of this session, what Devashi Bhaiya said that if we create 100 copies or 1,000 copies of a particular thing, then it will lose its meaning, right? The culture will lose its meaning. And also you are actually kind of copying a particular design and making copies and copies of it, then what can be actually that how can we actually preserve that culture then? We're just taking one design and then making copies of it, and it's very very loosely available everywhere, so we are not preserving the culture, right? The
But
artisans are not
without
getting
mass
proper
production,
credits
you
of it.
cannot. Without mass production, you cannot sustain in this field. If you are about to create only one piece, and then it will cost even in lakhs for a good
Okay, like
piece of art.
okay, okay,
What if we
Abhijnan.
get a second copy of Mona Lisa, or the 10th copy of Mona Lisa?
We
Look,
don't have any
Anjali,
Mona Lisa
to
out here.
answer your question. Look, Anjali, Mona
Yes,
Lisa
Priya.
is not an art form, right? Mona Lisa is means the painting or the technique by which Mona Lisa was painted. That can be treated as an art form. Mona Lisa can't be treated as an art form. It can be treated as a product of that art form. You are getting my point?
Yes, Priya.
Okay. So you can make 100 copies of the product. By making 100 copies of the product, you are also preserving that art form. Means the technique or the method by which the products are made, that's the art form. You can There is one folk song, right, and you can sing it for 100 times. That doesn't mean that you are not preserving that art form, right? You don't have to sing unique songs or unique folk songs every time. Well, made my point clear.
Yes, Priya.
Yes. Okay. So if I am allowed, I can say something. I would like to add something. All right. So let's take a perspective, right? Uh, Here's a painting of my face, which is painted by a painter with real colors, uh, real real pencils and everything. All right. And here's one painting which is made in Adobe Photoshop, right? And it is similar to that the painting which is made by the painter. And what painting should I buy to hang in one of my dining rooms or one of my bedrooms? What painting do you guys uh, think that I'll buy as a customer to hang in
Okay,
my drawing room, right?
okay, probably like you will buy the I think the Photoshop one because it will cost less, much
No,
less.
no, money is not the matter
Bhaiya,
here,
the
right?
original one.
Yeah,
Obviously,
money is
the
not a
original
matter
one,
here,
right?
right? So
Man doesn't matter. It's all right.
I'll buy the painting which is drawn by a painter because it is authentic. First of all,
Right.
it is unique from any other thing, right? So coming to art forms, when you bring in technologies, technology is a great tool for mass production scaling of a product, but whenever you are trying to sell a mattress that you are claiming it's an art form, it has a different way of making it, right? You need to stitch the thread in a different direction. There are different ways you can copy that same thing by using the technology, but every time, say for example, we are making a similar design every time, but it will be somehow different from the one made previously, right? When it is made by hand, that produces uniqueness, right? So to maintain the uniqueness as well as production has to go higher, we can merge these two things by doing that whenever we are producing any mattress, for example, see, the mattresses are made by hand, and the designs were also stitched by the artisans. So we can do a simple thing, right? We can tell that the fabric will be made by machines that we will produce. The fabric will be given to them, and they can put their design, they can draw it, they can stitch it, whatever they want to do with their hands. This way we can combine these two things. The production will also go high, their authenticity of the product will be also maintained, the artisans will also get the proper amount of daily wage or money that they deserve, and also we can sell this internationally. And to break the geographical barriers that Vijayan talk about, we can simply manipulate the supply chain. We just need to have a great supply chain. That's what matters in breaking the geographical barriers. Doesn't mean that a product which is made in the remotest part of India couldn't sell in Sri Lanka or US or anywhere else in the world, right?
Right.
We need to maintain a supply chain. We can sell our products anywhere in the world. The technology is so these days that even that different services like DHFL and everything, they deliver products in 1 day, 2 day. How are they doing? The supply chain they are managing is at a very high advanced scale. So that is what we need to build, or we can hire those kinds of supply chains, those kinds of initially the cost will be higher, but whenever we are able to develop a supply chain, then the cost will suddenly decrease. Take the example of Amul, right? Amul, every day you get your milk. It's a product that is that could get damaged if it comes late, right? A milk is produced in uh, say for example Gujarat, and it comes to Delhi. So they have a huge supply chain. Within a single day, uh, the product is packed and shipped to the destination. So if you can maintain that kind of supply chain, then also you can sell in any part of India as well as in any part of the world as well. So we need to take inspirations from different kinds of models, and we can collaborate all these things to make a huge market. And we also need influencer marketing, as Avijnan also said, that for brands, different kind of brands, influencer marketing is taking upon the youth. So influencer marketing could be a very good thing for this, for saving the local art forms. So that was my point. If anybody has anything to say, they can say, and we can wrap it up for today.
Yeah, I would have to say about the Abhinanjan's point, like digitalization of like 3D paintings and all. So we can't just digitalize everything. Like put like we can't put the paintings to 3D, right? So not like what I can say, like there is nothing like we have that only solution we have to detailize that, right? So there will be lots of way, like influence, and like Abhinanjan also said, to influence the market by different ways and all. So that's all I want to say.
Okay. So anyone else has anything to say? Anushka, would you like to say anything?
Yes, there is just one point I would like to add. Like all of you have spoken very nicely, and like the topic, like the art forms, like how are we going to popularize it? Uh, you people dealt with the marketing strategies. Devoshi has also said like the logistics and all. There is one problem which like I still don't have a solution to it, but I have the like I could not find a solution to it. See, the art forms, let's talk about saris. Okay, like Banarasi sari, Kanjivaram sari, India has got so many type of sari variation. Now a particular type of sari is popular in a particular place because the raw materials are available in according to that place. If I talk about terracotta is popular only in the places where reg lal mati, which we call it. So if that kind of specific raw material is available, only then the art form is popularized. Now, as Devopriyo has mentioned a very good point, that we can hire the artisans and we can bring them. If I have a factory in Mumbai, I can hire artisans from Purulia and bring them to Mumbai, and I can, make sure that there is a unit which is working. But the problem lies with the raw materials. If I have adequate money, I can import the raw materials and I can make them work. But there will be a shortage of raw materials. The particular areas of the world, they hold a monopoly. Purulia is holding a monopoly for terracotta, and maybe Maharashtra or South India is holding a monopoly for Kanjivaram saris, because they have workers, because they have raw materials. So if I shift out of the geographical location, maybe I will be able to bring the workers. But the problem lies with the raw materials. So perhaps we need to think on a greater note how we can, find convertible solutions for these raw materials. And actually, instead of making it a digital variation of it, we can get the original art forms in different parts of the world. Uh, with the adequate supply of raw materials to make it. So if you guys have any
Yeah.
solution for that,
Yeah, the
and
solution could be, see, the thing is that we don't
Can I
need to
say?
bring the workers
Mm,
to a different place. Let them be in Purulia and make
Bhaiya,
this.
can I say?
Yeah, yeah. Just
Uh,
let me
I
complete.
think you are gonna say the same thing. That's why I want to say.
Okay, so the thing is that it's basically based on shipment, right? Let them get the orders from Purulia. Let them make those things, terracotta, whatever the thing it is, in Purulia, right? And we will have few people who are appointed as a company. Will appoint few people who will see those processes and manage those our local artisans. From there, they will pack it up and ship to that location where the order came from. We So in this way we will not run out of any of the raw materials. We will not have to pay additional uh, charges to keep the workers at a different place, and for their families as well, so they can live their own life. They can be there, they can make products of their own, and we can take that, and we can be that middleman who will help them to connect to connect in different sections of the world, or different portions of the world. So we will be the middleman, as if what is different kinds of uh, online apps are doing, like Amazon, Flipkart. They are becoming the middleman. They don't sell any product. They act as a connection. They act as a bridge between the customer and the producer. So that we can do as of now. And when the company scales, then we can bring the artisans to a different place, pay them for staying, and we can make higher end products and scale it up. That we can do. That could be my solution. If Anjali has different thing to say, she can mention.
No, actually, I was thinking of something exactly same. Like instead of transporting the workers and the artisans, we can make the product at the specific place and then transfer the products to different locations.
but that is already existing. Don't you think that is existing in
Okay,
the
but
what? Yes.
yeah, the problem with this system, Devarshi said, okay, this will also require investment, some amount of investment in shipment, right? Means you have to place your shipment units everywhere. They means if you are in Purulia and there is an order from Maharashtra, then the artisans can't send the whole package, right? You have to make sure that you do the package well and you do the shipment. So that will involve a cost.
Yeah, that's what
Yes.
I said, that we will appoint two people there to look after this process, right? And we can hire third
Okay,
party
now
shipment facilities. Third party shipment facilities. For example, we move on to give DHFL or someone else, for example, to ship our products as of now, whenever we are starting. And when the capital grows, we can make our own logistic department and everything like that.
but hiring two people till how much
Bhaiya,
in how many places?
See, for example,
To which
Purulia,
Bhaiya
two
Anjali?
people. For Maharashtra or something else, two people. We need to
Okay, so
do
but
small steps, take
Bhaiya, I
small
want to
steps,
ask something.
and yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Bhaiya, this handmade items are already expensive because it requires a lot of efforts to make them. And now on top of this, you are like adding a third party, so this will also add to the expense, right? It will make them more expensive. So what is that solution?
No, no, the third party, how much will they charge? If we had our shipments of our own, then we also have to pay the driver, fuel charges, and everything else, right? So third party, if the margin is a little bit higher, we'll sell the products at a higher price in the initial days. Then we can bring down the prices. Initially, the prices of this our local artisan products are at a high end, that I know for sure. But if you can bring it down after, say for 2 financial years or 3 financial years, when we will have the logistics of our own, then uh, our company will do well, that I believe. But we will have to start small, and we'll have to start somewhere, right? Otherwise we can't do it.
Okay, Bhaiya.
Okay, so if anyone has anything else to say, otherwise I'll have to wrap up this session.
Wrap it up. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think if we have come to a conclusion of how we can protect our art forms, uh, and also commercialize them so that they don't die out of cash, right? So thank you for joining in today's session. You guys can leave, and we will meet in the next brainstorming session, uh, the next Sunday. Thank you for joining, and the
Thanks everyone.
certificates will be, yeah, and the certificates will be given to you uh, in the meantime.
Well, thanks everyone for giving me an offer, or like
Thanks a lot,
giving.
Bhaiya and Didi.
Yeah, of course. Thanks to everyone. Bye. Have a great day.
Yes, thank you people for joining.